Big money deals for .com companies can seem run-of-the-mill at this point in history, but Google is grabbing headlines once again today with its $1.65 billion U.S. buy-up of YouTube, which is, of course, that popular video-sharing website. Joining me to talk about the deal is technology analyst Jesse Hirsh. Good to see you.
Good morning.
$1.65 billion, shares only, no cash trading hand. We should talk about that.
Be very clear, it's funny money, all stock.
Okay, so the CEO of Google calls this the next step in the evolution of the internet. That was his wording. How big a deal is this, Jesse?
This is really quite a substantial deal, and it allows Google to really add a level of service in the world of video that they weren't entirely successful with. And this allows people to see Google not just as a search engine company, but as a media company in the traditional sense.
So it's a growing up for Google in some ways, and what does it mean in terms of changing YouTube?
Well, initially YouTube won't change at all, and really Google's interest in YouTube is not so much rebranding it, but having their ads run throughout the YouTube site, which is 99% of Google's revenue comes from their advertising system.
So today, when people open up their computers and log on, they won't notice anything different as of this moment.
Well, not at all, although there is one difference, which is the founders of YouTube have extraordinarily large smiles on the front page saying, guess what, we've been acquired by Google.
Okay, but in terms of actual operation, this is not something that's going to take place until the end of the year. And then is it really just the ads that are going to change, the ads on YouTube that people notice?
Definitely. Google has promised the YouTube founders that they will allow them to exist as an independent company. Given that that's YouTube's success, their sense of independence in facilitating everyone being able to be a TV producer or creating their own home videos. So this allows Google to be much more of an advertising company rather than a content company.
Homemade videos. Yes, that is the bulk of the content on YouTube, but the big concern that everyone seems to have flagged as a result of this merger, or buy-up, I guess, is the copyright material, the music that's on YouTube right now. How is that going to be handled?
Well, really, I think the reason YouTube hasn't been purchased up until now is because there's so much copyright material on YouTube. It acts as a liability. But only Google has both the legal resources to cut a whole bunch of side deals to legitimize the use of this copyright material. But they also have technology that allows them to identify automatically where the copyright material is, who owns it. And rather than remove this, they'll have revenue sharing, where let's say if it's a song owned by Sony BMG, they'll make sure that they get a cut of the advertising revenue that is derived from that particular video or web page.
And we were hearing yesterday that there are some of those deals with the world's largest entertainment companies that have just been cut. So is that done now, or is that really an issue that's still sort of percolating and looming out there for this
It'll
future?
Still be an issue. I think rather than, let's say, in the Napster case, where the entertainment industry really came down hard and shut Napster down, I think nobody wants to shut YouTube down because it is so popular. So they're trying to make deals, and really the weight and sheer size of Google will allow those deals to really be in the favor of YouTube rather in the favor of all these content companies.
When you mention Napster, thing of the past now, what do you think of YouTube's staying power now?
Well, I think this is, I mean, a lot of people were describing that YouTube was on its death legs, that it was so big and grew so fast there was no way it could survive. This is really YouTube's savior. This is the boost in the arm that allows YouTube, rather than be a flash in the pan, to become an institution, to really be how we equate video online. YouTube, just as we think of searching as let's go Google something, it'll be let's go YouTube something, and that it could become a verb in terms of how we regard video online.
I mean, there are 100 million videos. I was looking at this figure. It's amazing. 100 million videos per day on YouTube, and yet it's not been profitable to this point. Does this make the difference, you know, Google's resources and the future direct?
Well, I think this makes a huge difference. YouTube wasn't able to turn a profit simply because of the bandwidth. The pipes necessary to serve all these videos are really just too costly. But Google already has these pipes. They've already created an infrastructure vis-a-vis their search business that they can easily leverage to deal with online video. So all of those issues that YouTube is dealing with cost are not an issue at all to Google. So even though $1.65 billion seems like a ludicrous number, it'll be relatively easy for Google to make that up in advertising revenue in a very short period, which is why I think their stock in overnight trading has gone up so high, because people generally realize this was the only way that YouTube could survive.
We'll be watching the numbers today. A lot of excitement about this. Thanks for explaining why. Jesse Hirsh, technology analyst, and my guest here in Toronto.